and welcome back to On The Go. Following a thrilling round of fixtures, we are going to be reviewing the goals, the VAR decision, the gbas in the first round of fixtures, and so much more. Barry, so it's all about Qatar 2022 in the past few days.
Yeah.
Before we dive into the business of the day,
Mm-hmm.
what's your take on Ronaldo and Messi's picture just before the World Cup?
I mean, I must say their PR team is absolutely buzzing right now and fantastic. I mean, they were smart about dropping just before the World Cup. I mean, knowing that the both of them are going to be playing their last World Cup. So, I mean, it was the perfect, this is what they call it, picture for fans, for Messi fan and Cristiano Ronaldo fans. And I mean, probably that's the first time we'll see that Messi fans and Ronaldo fans are on the same page.
Yeah.
I mean, having
And
1,000
we're on the same page.
exactly
In that case.
exactly absolutely. I mean, 1,000 goals between each other, almost 70 trophies between each other. So absolutely fantastic. I love the picture.
Yeah, that's nice because I saw it on my social media that day and I was so happy.
Everybody was
And
reposting. Ladies were reposting.
I'm
The
telling
ones that
you,
don't even follow
watch
football.
football and they were just reposting. I was so happy because watching Ronaldo make that interview with Piers Morgan,
Yeah.
I was, and when I heard him discussing about Messi like that, I was so impressed. I was thinking, is there something up his sleeves?
I mean, two
So,
goals.
but
So,
to just see that, I was like, oh, I can now see why Ronaldo was talking about Messi that much.
I think they appreciate each other. And like they love the competition between each other, but I don't think there's any bad blood between the two of them.
Definitely.
So, but they respect each other.
As I
Basically.
just touched, what's your opinion on that Ronaldo interview with Piers Morgan? Even though to me, the timing is so poor.
I
so
mean,
poor.
it's so poor, and we have seen the results. They've sacked him in Manchester United. He doesn't have a club right now. Probably the only footballer in the World Cup right now that doesn't have club,
team.
a football club. Yeah. So it's ridiculous for him to drop that kind of video at that particular time, just going to the World Cup, knowing that he's not going to be around the Manchester United environment. But I mean, the video he dropped, the only positive I can take from it is that, I mean, it has encouraged or it has forced the Glazers to sell out the club. So I mean, that's a good move from him on the positive side of the video. But the negative side, I mean, a lot of people that were what they call it, bashed in the video. So I mean,
Well, again, I think
I mean, a lot of people have dropped, but like,
yes.
I mean,
So
I think we should focus on the World Cup so far. And what do you think about the World Cup so far? Inside the pitch, I mean, and off the pitch too.
definitely, like I'm watching the opening ceremony. I was so impressed with the diversity they showed,
Yeah.
even putting and bringing back the past soundtrack that they've had, like the Waka Waka that we spoke about in the last episode.
Yeah.
So like I was so impressed with
And
that,
also
the diversity,
and I think the
everything.
emojis, the head emojis
Yes.
from the past World Cups too.
Yes, I was so impressed with them, with the Morgan Freeman. I was so impressed
performance.
with
I loved it.
I was so
It was so
impressed.
touching, by the way, for me.
Yes, I was almost in tears. I was almost in tears watching that opening ceremony. And the only thing I'm not impressed with so far in the World Cup is the attendance. We are seeing them putting 60,000 and so
70,000,
as the
67,000, and
attendance.
they don't even have
up to I don't think they're up to 40,000 watching the match at once, because
I think my opinion on that is because I think the ticket is expensive. I think so. Then also they made the match available for the fans to view in the fan festival that they are doing. So like, I mean, probably they'll prefer not to buy the ticket.
Yes, and I think
buy a ticket for the fan festival and watch
those fans
and see celebrities too and all of that. So
yes, a lot of
I think that's
fans.
the reason why they are not going to the match itself and watching it in the fan festival.
Yes, you're right, because a lot of those fans are the attendance,
and we don't even have
up to I don't think they're up to 40,000 watching the match at once, because
I think my opinion on that is because I think the ticket is expensive. I think so. Then also they made the match available for the fans to view in the fan festival
Yeah.
that they are doing. So,
Yeah.
like, I mean, probably they'll prefer not to buy a ticket
Yes,
and
and I think
buy a ticket for the fan festival and
a
go and
lot of
watch
those
and
fans
see
are,
celebrities too and all of that.
yes,
So,
a lot
I
of
think
that
that's the reason
fans.
why they are not going to the match itself and watching it in the fan fest in
Yes, you're
Qatar.
right, because a lot of those fans are, majority of people travel to Qatar, and at the end of the day, we are seeing them at the fan
Fan
fest
fest
rather than on inside the stadium.
stadium,
So,
yeah.
well, I hope it changes towards the end of the competition, because that's the one thing I'm
I
not so
think the
impressed with it.
another reason why people are not attending is because Qatar, they are so strict with their rules. Like for the LGBT or something like that, the what they call it, um, the brand that what they call it, that is making what they call
Statements for
statement awareness for homosexuality
statements, yeah,
and
and so on.
diversity.
Yeah.
So that, like they, them bringing colors into the stadium, having one love armband, they can't wear it. You have to.
Yeah.
They'll give you a yellow card if you're a captain wearing it. So it's ridiculous
Rules.
rules that Qatar is giving. I think they're the one dictating the tournament so far. I don't think FIFA has any power
Yeah.
dictating the tournament so far. But I mean,
Well,
we see what happens in a couple of matches.
yeah, definitely. So let's just go into the um, fixtures that
Yeah,
we've had so far,
it's been
and we
thrilling.
just go to the
Gosh,
first match. That's the opening match, and
yeah,
that's we have Qatar and
yeah,
Ecuador.
yeah.
So, what's your take in this match? On
I
this
mean,
match, because I think everybody was expecting a win from Ecuador. No, not let me say a win from Ecuador, but people were expecting Qatar to step up, knowing the fact that Qatar, like,
it's our first
or
World Cup.
it's their first World Cup, and the second thing is that all the what they call hosting countries
Yes, I've
have
never
never lost
their opening
in
match
the
in the
opening
World Cup.
match
Yeah,
in World Cup, and seeing these results and seeing the way they performed, I was so sad. I was watching it and I was laughing. They couldn't control balls, they couldn't
simple
pass.
passes. I
So
mean, I
what's your
think
take?
their right back, especially Qatar's right back, I can't remember his name right now, but like, I'm definitely sure I was better than that guy, or I'm better than that guy
Yeah.
because simple passes, he couldn't control the ball, he was losing the passes. So like, I mean, it was ridiculous to watch Qatar play. I mean, I felt, I mean, their first World Cup, hosting the World Cup. I mean, they should have like some balls to play football, but
Yes.
they didn't have that.
And that
They
starts from the
allowed,
goalkeeper,
exactly, the goalkeeper was shocking.
Sahad.
He didn't know when to come out of between
I think
his
that led to the
sticks.
first VAR controversy, which
Yeah,
we'll talk about later.
yeah. I think. I mean, they were kicking players around.
Yeah.
They were kicking Ecuador players around because they couldn't just get a foothold on the ball. So it was crazy. I mean, Saatu was poor. He was coming out of his pitch of his line, not knowing exactly what he was coming out to do. And I mean, the Ecuador right back,
Yeah.
um, Preciado. I think that's how I'll
Precisely.
pronounce it. The guy was fantastic. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to surprise. Clubs in Europe are actually looking out for him. It was actually fantastic, and definitely this guy Ina Valencia,
Yeah.
he scored 3 goals in the first 30 minutes in the game. So
And
and one
one
was
was
disallowed.
disallowed. And I'm so surprised that Ena Valencia is not playing in Europe right now. Knowing the fact that he's the highest goal scorer of Ecuador's in Ecuador's history,
Yeah,
and is the highest goal scorer for Ecuador in the World Cup.
absolutely.
And he scored hat-trick in the first opening match in the last
Absolutely.
World Cup they were involved in.
Yeah.
And he scored two now, and I'm so impressed with him. And I think he should go back to Europe.
I mean, right now it looks convincing. It looks clinical that it wasn't showing in West Ham when it was in West Ham. So I'm surprised that I'm seeing this type of Ena Valencia. But I mean, it was a fantastic performance from Ecuador, and it set them up right for the couple of matches they will face in the group
Yeah,
stage.
and I really like you've already spoken about Prisado, and there's one of their midfielder, I've forgotten his name,
The guy that was
playing with
Casedo.
Casedo. Yeah, I think I love the way they played in that match, because it was dropping in between the centre backs,
Yeah,
and was dictating the play. So
yeah,
I was really impressed with that.
yeah.
Yeah. So what's your take on Qatar, like the coach, the way you're taking 2-0 into the first half, and into after the first half, you're you're losing 2-0. What's your take on how he came like he set out his team following
I
the
mean,
break.
like I said, I mean the coach can hammer, he can shout, he can yell, but at the end of the day, the players on the pitch have to do the job.
Yeah.
He can't come on the pitch and start running for 11 players. So, I mean, if they wanted it within themselves, I mean, they would have gone all the way to put up a performance for the coach and for the nation. So,
Yes.
I mean, it's shocking with their performance. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. So let's go to Netherlands and the Holland. Yeah, I think they're in the same group.
yeah, they're in the same group.
Yeah, with Senegal. What's your take? Even though I was so impressed, I'm telling you, I was so impressed with Senegal. The first half was so equally matched.
Yeah.
The similar number of passes completed, similar possession, similar shots, and so on. What's your take on Senegal's performance and Netherlands?
I mean, Netherlands, I mean, Senegal. Let me start from Senegal. They start and they made it tough for for Netherlands to play from the back in
Yeah.
the beginning of the match. So it was so tough for them to play out from the back, and I mean, without money, it was an impressive first half for them from them. They allowed Netherlands to play out from the back, which that's what Netherlands is very good at. With one their goalkeeper that was making his debut at
I
28
think
years
his
old.
name is Norbert or something like
He's the
that.
tallest
Yeah.
player in the
Playing the
tournament,
World Cup.
and he looked convincing with his leg. I
Yeah.
mean, with the fact that they didn't even use a defensive midfielder, they used De Jong
Yeah.
playing in
And I think
Barcelona.
De Jong and
De Jong, Gakpo, and
no, I think it's De Jong and Berghaus in the
no,
midfield.
De Jong, Gakpo, and
Berghaus in front.
Beggars in the
In front.
midfield. So like to use a striker and a winger
In
with,
the
in the midfield
on the
with
center end.
and a center midfielder, and Dion controlled the game, especially in the second half, the way he did. I mean, I give him kudos to for that, and I mean, the pass he gave Gakpo obviously showed his class.
Yes, I would agree to that. But knowing the fact that Mendy has been the best goalkeeper
Yeah,
in the world so far,
one of the best.
one of the best, if not the best,
Yeah,
right? For him to make that kind of decision and step out without reading the ball perfectly, I feel he is meant with the kind of class keeper he is or he was. Is he meant to step out earlier than that and get that ball before Gakpo?
I mean, the young gave an absolute fantastic pass.
Yeah,
It was inch perfect, I would say, because if it wasn't inch perfect, there won't be a doubt
for Mendy.
in the keeper's mind. But because of how good the pass was, yeah, he was not sure of when to step out.
Yeah,
And when he took the decision to step out late, it
yeah,
was too late, and Gakpo reacted, knowing the fact that Gakpo is good on the air and is a tall striker.
striker.
So I mean, it was absolutely fantastic. And
And
obviously they wanted to go all out for a draw
yeah,
after the goal, and
they
they ended
consistent,
up conceding the second one,
which I
which I
feel
yeah
is Mendy's fault again because
yeah
I feel with that shot was not powerful enough or it didn't have pace.
yeah.
He's meant to catch that ball straight up or push it wider to neglect to remove the danger from having Classen to be able to score that kind of goal.
Like I said, it's not like you said. I mean, he's not in form, and the fact that he's not been playing in what they call it in Chelsea,
Yeah,
Kepa has been keeping him out of the lineup. So is I don't think his confidence is as at this at the highest. So you could give that a reason, and it looks like the goal was the shot was a deflected shot. So I mean or that's the excuse I would give him.
okay.
Then yeah, I think that's the excuse I can give
So that's
Mendy
okay.
in that shot.
So that's all about the group, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but what's your take on the group so far? Who do you think is going through, and who do you think will be getting out of the group?
I mean,
Will
with the
be
way
going on. Let me use that word.
I mean, with the way the group is right now, um, it is open. I'll still say it's open because it looks like Senegal is playing Qatar tomorrow.
Yes.
So if Senegal wins Qatar
Yeah.
with 2 goals or more, it is set up right for Ecuador and Senegal to fight for the second position because
Yeah.
I think Netherlands will trash Ecuador. So
Yes, and
and,
they will
and
trash
Qatar
Qatar.
will be leaving the competition so early, knowing the fact that they are host nation. I
Yes,
don't know how their fans will be or their what they call it, their what the citizens will be looking at the tournament from the outside and
I
knowing
know,
that their country
and
is not
seeing the
part of it
crowd
again.
is not so much inside the stadium. I'm sure that will be also be affected
It will even be worse
if
because
it will be
I'm
worse.
hearing the fact that they are paying some country what they call citizens to come and fill up the stadium and all of that. So it's
And
going to be
it's still
ridiculous,
not
especially
full.
when Qatar what they get knocked out.
Okay, let's go into Group B. That's
England,
England,
Iran.
Iran, Wales, and USA. So we had England
Yeah,
trash Iran 6-2. And you know my take on England already. You know how superb they were in that first game. Even knowing the fact that they had a long delay
yeah,
in the start of the match, they had to reset their mindset and go for the game.
yeah.
And they ended up 6-2. I was so surprised. I was so surprised.
I don't
So what's your take on
I
England?
don't think they should have conceded 2 goals. But I mean, lack of experience and complacency that they had, it is obvious that there's still a lot of things to improve in the what they call it in the England team.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were so super going forward. They knew how they wanted to play their game. William supported the attackers in
I
in the
was
midfield. From the midfield, then what they call it, Hurricane was dropping for the
the
likes of Saka,
Sterling.
Sterling to run behind, and while Missy Mount and Williams are also running into them. Especially the way the first goal came through that when what they call it, Hurricane came.
I think that was the second
The first goal
the
was
second
Bellingham.
or
The first
second
goal was Bellingham. He came down. He came.
came
Hurricane
out
came out
of the
of
box.
the box, dropped into the midfield, linked up the pass,
Look
went
sure.
to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw crossed the ball and Wales
Bellingham
Bellingham
in
joined them in the attack and arrived in the box 18. Then
and
headed the
headed the ball.
ball in.
I
The
also
keeper
I
was
was I was
stranded.
also impressed with England, and the only problem I have is lack of concentration. I was so angry seeing them concede two cheap goals.
Even before they considered the goal, you could see that they were losing concentration, losing passes, and I mean the first goal that they scored, I think they should have handled and the players, Iran players,
From just from throwing
exactly from the throwing from the corner of the what they call it pitch.
pitch.
They're meant to kill the game there or stop the attack,
Yeah,
but they couldn't stop that because they're losing concentration, and this guy blasted the goal in
yeah,
Tarami.
and that's one of the yeah. I was not impressed with that, but one thing I was
Especially the
impressed.
penalty.
Yes, that penalty was dubious, but we're going to talk about it later.
Yeah,
But looking at how England performed
yeah.
and having, I think, 4-0 before they made their first substitution, and you see the likes of Grealish, you have the likes of
Rashford.
Rashford, Foden, Wilson coming in place of Saka, Sterling, and so on. There is no nation in this World Cup that will not be threatened with that.
Absolutely. I obviously see them as serious contenders
Yeah.
after this performance. I would definitely put them as one of the people that nations that would likely win the tournament. So definitely, with the young players that they took to the World Cup. I mean, it's going to be a lot of attack and flair. But at the same time, when they are facing the big nations, can they handle the pressure? Hopefully, Phillips is good enough, fit enough to be able to join Rice in the midfield because I don't think Billiam will be able to what they call it pair Rice when they start when they play the big nations like Spain that dominate the midfield superbly. They keep the ball well. I don't think
Yeah.
they would have the likes of they would want to have the likes of Billiam chasing the ball
Yeah, I agree.
because once he
Well,
chases the ball, he can lose his man and from there they create a chance and score goals.
yeah.
So
What was your take on Iran? Let's take
Iran.
that first.
I mean, Iran. It's such a pity knowing the fact that they have two top strikers, Azmoun and Taremi.
Taremi.
I feel they should have done more in the match, and I hope they do more when they face Wales next.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's go to Wales and USA.
I mean, this match. I mean, we know what Wales the way they play.
Yeah.
Sit back, look for Gary Bale,
Yes.
and They
And
will
I
deliver the
think
goals.
I think they are one of the set of nations that in this competition that they know how to suck in pressure.
Yeah.
They sucked in pressure for about 30 minutes in the first half. Consider just before the second half,
Yeah.
and before the break. I
Yeah.
mean, and coming back after the first half, the raw page made few
The-
substitutions. Like I think it
It's
brought
just a
dropped
substitution.
Kiefer Moore and removed Rich James.
Yeah.
And
And Daniel James.
Daniel James, I mean,
Yeah.
and everything changed for Wales. Decided to dominate the game, having more possession, having more touches inside the box.
I mean,
Uh,
the way USA played them in the first half, they had no choice but to go for it in the second half,
yes,
because
and I think
if
they
they
should.
didn't, if they
USA
didn't
should have gone more than 1-0 up
up in
in
the
the
first
first
half,
half.
so if they didn't go all out in the second half, Wales definitely
They'll get trashed.
they will get trashed.
You're
And
right.
what they got, Gary Bale would not be able to touch the ball at all. But having Kiefer Moore a vocal point in the attack, they
Yeah.
could load the ball to him, make crosses into the box, and at the end, I mean, I think that was what they call it, cost the penalty that
Yeah.
was given to
Yeah.
Gary Bale. They made a cross, and it was Bale that was
And
available there,
Bale, as
and
usual,
as
steps
usual
up.
delivered the big stage.
Yeah.
His first World Cup,
World
and
Cup.
his
Yeah.
first goal.
So looking at the group, who do you think is going along with England into the round of
Why
16?
do you think England is is? Do you think
Bro,
there can be any surprise?
I don't think there will be a surprise. No, like the squad depth of England is frightening.
But
It's frightening because you can't tell me even if Harry Kane is not fit, even though you see Rashford maybe not fit, we have maybe
Wilson.
just name their players. They have squad depth.
Okay,
They have
but
enough squad depth
you
to
know,
deal with the
I
pressure.
said it before
And
that.
I'm telling you, they beat USA and they're true because I
But you
think
know, I said it's going to be a tough group, and I took them as what they call the group of 10.
yes,
Me, the reason why I said that, I said this, it's going to be more of emotional
yes, you
occasion.
said that.
When they face USA, it's going to be a different ballgame with the way and with when they played Iran.
Iran.
They have Adams
Yeah.
that controls that midfield as much as the way Rice
I
does.
was so
One of the
impressed with
best
him in the first
midfielders so
half.
far in Premier League.
Yes.
So I don't see any reason why they didn't start one of the players in Harrison. He's been in
Yes.
top form for Leeds,
Yeah.
and I don't see any reason why I can't put up a performance for USA
I know it will
in
be a
this match.
tougher game for England
Absolutely,
comparing to
they have
Iran.
no they can't have any chance to rest on the laurels and think, okay, it's going to be an easy
They'll
roll
be
on the
punished
park. They will
definitely.
be punished.
But
They have the likes of Way, they have the likes of Sargent. They've
yeah,
played in the Premier League. Now it is, if you don't take your chances, you lose the match. So
yeah.
they obviously want to take their chances
So
and
who
beat.
do you think is going to go along with them? Even if okay, if not, if they are not going to go, which team is going to be going through in this group?
Okay, I was just joking. England, I obviously root for them to win the group. Then I'm looking at, I was thinking Wales before the tournament started, but the way USA played Wales, I think USA will have to follow.
Yes, yes, you're right because I think where this second place to be won is the fixture between Wales and Iran and USA versus Iran.
And
Who scores more?
scores more.
So I think with the threat USA has, I think they will be able to score more.
I
So
mean, that's if Wales win Iran, because it's not going to be a tough game. It's not going to be an easy
easy
game,
game.
because the way Wales play is similar to the way Iran play. They play what they call it, direct. So
Okay. Well, if you say so, but yeah, let's go into the next group. I think that's Group C. Group C, we have Saudi Arabia, we have Mexico, we have Poland, and we have your Argentina.
I mean, I was not able
I
to.
mean, your Argentina.
Yes, for Argentina. I'm still rooting for them. Hopefully they put up a performance
You know,
in the last two matches. But what they played in Saudi Arabia,
against Saudi,
against Saudi Arabia, I did not think this is a team that have gone 38 games of meeting, which included Brazil and included the likes of Italy. I was so shocked with the performance, especially in the second half. I mean, first half they were superb. They played well from the back. They created chances. Only the fact that they were rushing their attacks. The
Yeah.
strikers were making their runs too early, or
Or the passes,
the
passes are coming
playmakers
to
were making
giving
their passes too late. So like, it was so ridiculous. They had almost 14 offside.
I
They
think
were
it's
caught
9
offside.
offside,
They were caught offside up to 9 times. So
and that 9
it
times is
was
more than all the offside they got caught in the last World Cup.
last World Cup.
So and
So that's
that's
so
not impressive
shocking.
anymore.
I was so sad. Messi scored 2 goals that was cancelled. Or sorry, Lautaro Martinez scored
Martinez
2 goals
scored.
that was cancelled. So it was so surprising. And when they come back in the
No, I
second half,
think in that first half,
yeah,
you said they dominated. No doubt about that. But even though when Saudi Arabia had the ball
yeah,
in their hands, Argentina was not able to press rightly as a team to dispossess them because they allowed them play. And I was so impressed with Saudi Arabia. I won't lie.
I was
There was one
telling you
player you
during the
told me
match.
about, and that was the guy that scored the
Yeah,
second goal. That's
Darazari,
that was Zari.
Darazari.
So I was so impressed with him.
You know, I told you when I was watching, we were watching this match. You can't, you can stop what they call it, quality team to play,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you can't stop them in for 90 minutes. They would
Yes.
have their own what they call it, time to show how much they can play. So
Yeah.
what they call it, Argentina was running out of legs, and the likes of Dazari, they're good ball players, and they showed that in the second half with 2 fantastic goals. And obviously the first goal, I think, was the first goal for Saudi Arabia was out of nowhere.
Yes.
Because I mean they were not closing up
Lack of
their marker,
concentration.
lack of concentration from Romero.
Romero.
Even the second goal, lack of concentration from Romero. And I think
And also Molina, because you shouldn't allow a player with quality like that control that ball.
I mean
So
I agree,
and
They didn't close him up.
and I think Scolani, or what do you call
Yeah,
your
Scolani.
manager, like he was so, like, you're a coach managing this great Argentina team. You go into the break, you can see what Saudi Arabia and co they are doing,
Pushing up high.
pushing up high, having high line in their defense. You're seeing your players getting offside, getting flagged offside, and all sorts. And you go into the break, you can make tactical changes
Yeah.
for your team and make sure they are improving in the first second half. And I think
And
that's
change
what
and
I think
change the
that's
line
what
of attack.
exactly, and I think that's what killed
I think
Argentina.
the funny thing is that the second half, their line of attack was pass the ball to Di Maria, and Di Maria could do something with it and
Yes.
create chances, which he couldn't do
Messi
that a
couldn't
couple
get
of times.
enough touches on the ball in the second half.
I mean,
And that was so bad. And
I'm so sad because I was rooting them for to win the tournament, and I'm hoping.
I think people got carried away with that unbeaten, but we see. I hope they qualify because it gives the competition more pedigree.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I hope they actually qualify because the way Poland and Mexico are, played has not been convincing, or it wasn't convincing.
yeah,
So I don't see a reason why they can't beat Mexico and Poland because it was a no-no between the two of them.
Yeah.
Even though Lewandowski missed the penalty, so sad
penalty.
for him.
So like it was a boring match. So I don't think there's so much to talk about than just that Lewandowski penalty. I was expecting him to step up more.
the match.
I was expecting him to step up more on the big stage. So
Captivating is the right word to give to this round of fixtures, but I don't think is a right phrase we should give to Group D. What do you think about Group D so far?
I was so impressed with Tunisia. Let me go first of all with Tunisia because with the intensity they played with Denmark, I was so impressed. They dominated the midfield as some part of the
That number 14 for
midfield.
Tunisia.
I'm telling you,
He
even
was a
number 7.
beast.
I forgot
Number
his name.
7, their captain.
Their number 7, their captain too was impressive.
Yeah, there were a lot of hard workers
I
there.
think Denmark, I was so disappointed the way they played. I think I was rooting them for one of the dark horses.
They were too lethargic. Let me tell you something. With Denmark, I think the Eriksen factor that made them go far in Euros is not there anymore. So I didn't think there was any form of motivation for them to go into the World Cup. So there was no pressure. There was no reason why they should
I think
perform.
they are too focused on outfield politics or whatever in terms of
human rights
they are fighting for and all.
Yeah.
So and Australia, they were building up for a shocker.
I said that beginning 9
I was
minutes.
like, what is happening to France? What's happening
big
to France?
teams in the
All of a
tournament.
sudden, France just switched it up. So
I think they
And we had, obviously, a gunner is always once a gunner is always
Always
a
a
gunner.
gunner, yeah.
Oliver Giroud, he scored 2 goals and
Yeah.
obviously broke the not break the record, but like he
matched,
he's in
Thierry
company
Henry.
with Thierry Henry as most what do you call it,
goals scored
goals
by
scored
France.
by France player.
Yeah.
And he has just one more goal to score and surpass.
Surpass.
And I mean, he has
It's not a bad
at
company
least
to
he
be
has 2 more matches to actually break the record. So it's not a bad company to be
in
with.
it, yeah.
Thierry Henry,
Yeah,
legendary
and
Thierry Henry.
let's go into Group
Igwe.
E. A shocker. That's a group. A shocker. Germany, Japan, Spain, and Costa Rica.
I won't say Germany, Japan was a shocker because we've seen what they did in the last World Cup in 2018 and 2014. They've been fantastic.
Yeah.
They went all the way to the semi-final,
I think it's
quarterfinals.
quarterfinal.
Against Belgium. They lost in this, what they call it, in 9 minutes.
Yeah.
I think what they call it, in the extra time. So
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised. I was surprised with the way they started the match. They didn't start well against Germany.
They
But
allowed, Germany.
they respected Germany too much. But that second half, they went all out, and that's the Germany that's the Japan that we know.
Yeah,
That we
I
know.
was so impressed with the substitution from the coach,
Yeah,
because
I think-
it brought Tomiyasu into the left back position.
Yeah,
and
I
brought
think-
some good attackers.
Asano and
They brought Asano,
Doan.
Doan, and they brought
Minamino.
Minamino. They also brought this guy from Brighton, Mitoma. So
Mitoma,
I was so impressed with the
Those
way
are
they played.
I think the coach, Japan coach, is the one that won the match for them, because I mean it changed it up very very early, and changed it well.
Yeah,
It was
And
effective.
Don't you think we should be talking more about Spain? Because I don't think people are rooting Spain to be one of
Absolutely.
the favorites. And
I don't
their
rate, I wasn't rating them
Their
for
finishing stats are so superb.
I wasn't rooting for Spain to be one of the what they call it, the big dogs in this tournament, but what they showed us against Costa Rica and what Costa Rica did in the last World Cup,
I think
and went all the way to the semi-finals or finals. Sorry, the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I think that's 2014
World Cup.
Yeah,
With what they did to Costa Rica, they didn't allow them to play. They dominated the match from the beginning.
They were not able to keep the ball at all.
Exactly.
Like, and I'm so disappointed. I think they'll be going home comfortably.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the way Spain played, Gavi, Pedri, they kept Rodri at the back to be able to build up the play. So it was so fantastic the way they played.
Yeah, definitely. Then we have Group F. Group F.
I think Group
Belgium, Croatia, Morocco, and Canada.
I think
The team that surprised me the most is Canada, and I'm sure you're a big fan of Canada.
I'm a big fan of Canada for obvious reasons, which I'm not going to discuss it today.
Yeah.
But Belgium, they were the best second ranked team in the world, playing the 41 best ranked team in the world, and they were outplayed.
I'm telling you,
Belgium were outplayed to the extent that after the match, Henry stood at the what they call the tunnel and was waiting for the Canadian players, and was shaking them one after the other to show how much he respected
their performance.
Their performance and how they dominated Belgium.
I was so impressed because they made an aging Belgium team look aging.
Exactly.
You know, there are sometimes that you have some aging. They use their experience to just flow through games. But this Canadian team, they made them look so old, and their attackers.
Come to think of it, the captain of Canada is going to be clocking 40 very soon. Also, it's so much surprising that he actually outplayed Tron. I mean, the likes of De Bruyne, and they couldn't even hold the ball. It was when they brought Onana on that they could be able to play ball.
They were able to win some
balls in the midfield. But the way Canada played, oh my God!
What's your take on Croatia, Morocco? That was a boring match.
That was a boring match for me. Like, and they didn't play too much.
No clear-cut chances enough to win the match.
But Canada in this group, I'm rooting for them to go. We do have watched them. I have to say, I'll make a huge statement here. I know, but like I see them going all the way with Belgium in the group.
Okay, I hope they validate that.
I mean, if they take their chances with the likes of Davies, Buchanan or Buchanan. Oh my God.
Buchanan, yeah.
He's playing for Club Brugge. I mean, he says it. It showed the performance that he has been showing in Club Brugge.
Yeah.
And in Canada's match against Belgium yesterday.
So I hope they are able to back your statements, because
Absolutely.
I was impressed with them,
Absolutely.
honestly.
Absolutely.
So let's go into the next group, and that's Group G, right? We have Group G. That's Brazil, Switzerland, Cameroon, and Serbia.
I mean, Switzerland, they're experienced. I told you before that they are used to each other. They've played with each other for so long. So they now, they like, you could see that they were playing without pressure.
Yeah.
They knew that they knew their time would come to create chances and score goals. So they wasn't bothered about the way Cameroon started the match and were missing chances. Immediately they took their chances, you could see that Cameroon fell apart and
they didn't even know what they're doing anymore.
Exactly. Then Brazil, I mean, Richarlison was superb today. All the attacking players, apart from Rafinha, it was so that guy
was
lackluster. I see the reason why Dembele is mentioning him in Barcelona.
It's lackluster. With the chances,
he didn't
couldn't take the right touch for a good finish and all. But watching Brazil, they were so scary. I won't root them to win. I won't say they'll win because I feel their defense is so aging. If they get if they get a good national team to face them with a good attack, they are going to be dangerous.
They have a good mix in their defense.
They have a good mixture, but in that defense that they started, I don't think they have enough pace.
They can change it. They can change it up. So
I hope they are able to change, because
and obviously their midfield is stronger than the midfield they used today. They used Neymar and Paqueta in the midfield, and I'm sure they have stronger midfield than that.
Definitely, but
the way Casemiro dominated that midfield, it was superb. It was dropping a lot of long passes across the attacking lines.
And I was definitely impressed with the pace, like their attacking pace, the way they attack, their attacking pace,
and they beat their man.
Yes, they make sure they beat their man. They're not giving any defense chance to
defend them
easily. Yeah. So, Cameroon, what do you have to say about their performance?
I mean, Cameroon is one of the teams that we expect to put up a performance for Africa so far, but I think I'll put them as the most underperforming African team so far, watching their first round of fixture. Because Tunisia, that we thought was going to be like the what do you call it?
Can you see my face? I'm shocked.
The underdogs against what do you call it? Amongst all the African countries, Tunisia came and gave us a performance. Which other team? Morocco came and gave us a performance against last World Cup finalist Croatia, and we have Ghana, and we saw what they did with Portugal. And which other team that we have? Senegal. Senegal they played well too. So I mean, I think that's why I'm putting Cameroon.
But they were able to create enough chances, but I think they have issues with scoring their goals. But I hope they are able to do well, because like Cameroon on a good day, they're a good team.
And they're a good team, but with the group that they're in, it's going to be tough.
So let's go to R7. CR7 group.
R7 or R9 or CR7.
CR7.
We know Portugal.
Yeah,
I mean,
Portugal.
we know Portugal played.
Group H.
You said they were going to be convincing, but I don't think they were convincing, because Ghana did not attack them.
Yeah,
they
didn't have to do much.
Exactly. The couple of attacks they had, they scored goals. They had two or three goals shot on goal. The ones that went on target, and two out of those three were goals. So I mean, it says a lot about their defense, even though they are not using an aging defenders in the likes of Diaz and William Carvalho. But I mean, I was surprised. Danilo Pereira. Yes. So I was actually happy with the way Ghana played. They had balls to play.
Yeah, if
they're not scared.
I was impressed with them. I won't lie. I was very, very impressed with them. But I think Portugal attack might scale them through this. Will scale them through this.
I think
Pedro Leao cameo was so impressive.
I think definitely he's going
to touch and a goal.
I think he's going to be able to, and Portugal is going to scale through the likes of Korea Republic and Uruguay, because Uruguay were disappointing,
very disappointing,
especially in their final third. They are not crossing the balls to Cavani to Suarez or
Nunes.
to Nunes either. They're just breaking the play in the
Then
midfield.
Korea Republic, I think I'm going to, what they call it, I'm going to share this Korea Republic and Canada's performance. They're so similar.
I don't think so.
I think the performance they had in this first round of
I
fixtures,
don't think so.
they were so similar.
I don't think so because
I will associate them. I will associate their performance together.
I don't think so because Korea played Uruguay. Uruguay is not a they have good players.
They were in
but
quarterfinals in the last World Cup.
but they are not an outstanding nation in terms of World Cup. I mean, they are two-time World Cup World Cup winner, but like you can't compare them to Belgium. I mean, Belgium have no. I don't think they won the World Cup before, but the players they have playing in their team right now, with the way Canada played them, trust me, I don't think they're in the same level with Korea. Canada is way better than Korea.
So if you say so, and I think that's.
I think that's all we did.
I think that's all with the group stage. And I hope the
next round
of fixtures are going to live up to the billing, because
live up to the expectation
because
as much as this
or surpass it even.
Thanks for watching our video.
Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, share, and follow our other platforms. Thank you.